and we can get this show on the road here. Can everybody see the agenda? Okay. All right. It's 9:03. Thanks for being here. We'll call the meeting to order. Do we have anybody for public comment? Looks like none. Next up, approval of the February minutes, which I had sent around to everybody in the previous email.
Motion to approve.
All right, give a second.
I second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Cool.
Aye.
All right. Most of the agenda items on for today are just sort of informational updates. There's not really a lot to vote on, so it should be hopefully a pretty short meeting. So moving on to agenda item number 4 is this broker open house event. So our business attraction committee at RPBA likes to do, you know, at least 1 or 2 of these a year. We've done ones on Sheridan, we've done them on Devon. They wanted to do Howard Street this year so that we could sort of partner up also with the city of Evanston to promote their side as well, since we're working together on the Rise Grand Corridor Plan stuff. So that's coming up tomorrow night. Everyone should have gotten the event invitation. If not, I'm happy to send around the email again, because we are asking people to register. Yeah, Waffles is here.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know, a little levity in the morning. Come here, Waffles. Yeah, so broker open house. It's tomorrow at 5. We are holding it at the Maker Studio space at 1609. We are getting some food catered in, and I think some beverages. So if you're able to stop by, we've invited a whole bunch of brokers and then businesses that we've been in contact with that are looking for space and looking to meet brokers. So it should be a good time, you know, with some networking, and then we've got some of the Evanston folks I think that are going to be participating in that as well. So yeah, so that's 5:30 to 6:30 tomorrow. Did folks get the email? I know it was in our last couple of newsletters too. But yeah, we're asking people to RSVP just so that we have head count for food.
Cindy, can you put Renee at Jarvis Square Tavern on the email for RPBA?
Yeah.
Because for the RPH, it goes to Jenny and they couldn't do 2 people.
Oh, weird. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make sure. So yeah, so just Renee at Jarvis Square Tavern. It's jarvissquaretavern.com.
Yep. Thank you. I end up getting like only every maybe 3rd one of yours, or someone forwards it to me.
Unrelated, will we see the Waffles Tail issue in the agenda next time in the meeting notes? Will that be typed up? I'm sorry.
I mean, I generally tend to keep meeting minutes to like action items and questions, but all right.
If you're able to, I think we would be delighted. I think anybody else who isn't here, it would really show them what they missed.
Well, they can watch the video too, because we do post the videos once meeting minutes get approved too.
Nice.
All right. Howard Street Maker Studio wrap up and closing reception. So all good things must come to an end. The broker and building management notified us that they have leased the space to a permanent tenant. They're still not sharing with us yet who that is or is going to be, but they have shared with us that they need us to vacate the space by the 31st. Which is kind of okay because we've kind of run out the grant funding that we had available, and it was always intended to be a pop-up. So it's been really successful. We've been drawing pretty consistent crowds for a lot of the programming that's going on. there's, still the possibility that it may come back in some form or fashion. So Eva at the Park District Park Advisory Council, shared with me that the Willie White Park Fieldhouse is looking to do more artist residency stuff, and asked to get connected with some of the artists that we've been working with. And we got word through the city that they may be doing this grant again. They'll most likely be doing the storefront activation grant again, the same one, at some point in the fall for the holiday season. But they might also, another department actually also might be doing a spring one. So we're keeping an eye out for that. We would just need to find an alternative storefront to utilize if we are going to go for that grant again, and make sure that our artists still have schedule availability. But overall, it's been really well received. We've had consistent participation. So if we can find a way to do it again, I think the will is there. We just have to line up all the pieces. And we're looking at doing a closing reception on Saturday, the 25th. Which would, I think, sort of mirror kind of what we did with the opening reception back in December for those that came out to that. So stay tuned for more details, but we're sort of targeting the 25th.
Cindy,
Yeah.
on that one, is there you or possibly somebody on staff or one of the marketing contractors or the PR people, somebody who can do kind of a wrap up of how, of the success of this, and something just to have, first of all, for the record, but also perhaps we can use it as another marketing piece, and just let the businesses and send it out to whatever possible outlets, media outlets there are. Just let them know that it was quite successful and how people participated in it. I think the stuff that appears in the newsletter is probably constitutes a bunch of the content of that, but just something that starts off with the fact that it was it went over very well. And finally, also that I think as far as the city is concerned, and the general, anybody who reads it almost, that it was his space also in the fact that the space was now going to be used by a commercial tenant, I hope, or at least a tenant.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, he hasn't yet made any formal announcements as to who the new tenant is, just that there is one. And as far as media, typically for a press release, that's got to be at least a month or two before, and they don't tend to, they usually don't do multiple press releases about a particular project or event. And since we already had the ones in December where we got some TV coverage, I'll bring it up with Anna and see if we could get something. But in either case, we do have to do all sorts of data and reporting on attendance, number of sessions, number of hours, and all that for our reporting for the city. So like we're compiling the information and it'll certainly be included in like our annual reports and things like that. Even if we don't get we're not able to get media, broadcast, print or otherwise, on this. And like I said, we're hoping to find, ways to pop back up again and do it some more. We're already sort of investigating that, and having the information will strengthen those grant applications.
I didn't expect a bunch of TV cameras, but like you're talking about, something that puts the story on record.
Yeah.
And that just anybody can read at any time, whether they're involved in it or not. That makes it sound like all the work that went into it and the results, the story of it would be good.
Yeah, for sure. And Julianne, once we've got the agenda sort of buttoned up for the closing reception, we will probably want to make a Facebook event for that.
Absolutely.
and promote that on website and social.
Absolutely.
So
Okay.
stay tuned.
I'm sorry, one last question. With something like that, if we got something like that or whatever else we do, for the brokers, does that go, do you have a mailing list or a distribution list for them? Something that,
Yeah.
you know, we can send periodically to them?
Right. Yeah. I mean, this was part of that. So the business attraction group, we do have a list in our CRM that's got, you know, at least a couple dozen area commercial brokers on it. And I think Jesse, I know you and Sal, I think are on that list. So should have gotten it through there. And then Evanston has their own. And we have a list of, you know, people that we know are looking for sites. So those are the three distribution groups that this went out to, in addition to, I'm pretty sure it was in Happenings.
I was gonna say, I do know that we feed into like our vacant spaces over there too.
Yeah.
I know, like I send those along to RPBA and y'all get them on that list. So I don't know that I think Sal might just get the outward bound, so to speak, and I help to feed it with our spaces. Generally directly to you, Cindy.
Yeah, and you sent me the ones for 1419,
Here are
which I just
pictures of
updated
it,
in
yeah.
our table. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm taking notes at the same time and I'm going through the agenda. Yeah, so we cover Broker Open House, Maker Studio. So RISE grant. So this is the joint corridor plan between us and City of Evanston. We convened the first meeting of the stakeholder steering committee. So we have, you know, half the people from the Evanston side and half the people from our side. So that group has started to meet. They're only going to meet 3 times during the, you know, the 6 to 9 months that the project is going on. The next sort of phase that will be starting in April, we're going to be convening a series of listening sessions for the community and businesses centered around different topics. So one will be public safety. One will be like built environment, zoning, real estate. One will be business development. And then it looks like we're going to add a housing one. So there will be at least, you know, 3 to 5 of these community listening sessions and an online survey that's going to launch when our website does, which I think is going to be beginning of April. And then a big, larger format community meeting, open house that we're, I think, targeting Saturday, April 22nd to do during the day so that, you know, hopefully more folks can attend that. I don't have a venue for it yet. I'm probably going to be either, you know, one of the larger Evanston venues or maybe Willie A. White. I don't think we've decided yet. But yeah, you haven't seen anything yet because like the website's not up and our press release hasn't gone out, but we are working on that stuff. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that that's sort of where we are. So it's going to be all coming out like pretty soon. And we're going to be looking to sign folks up to participate in some of the listening sessions and things. So that'll go out to everybody here, and you know, all of the businesses and all of the folks that we have on our communication lists for Howard Street in the coming weeks. Any questions on that?
Sal sent the recording of the first meeting and it looked great. He was also
Yeah, we had
texting
great
me that
turnout.
Yeah, he was like, "Why aren't you here?" I was like, "They wanted one of us. You
Yeah.
picked it. It's you, buddy." But he was like, "It was great." Like he was super excited, and I think he's all jazzed to have like everybody be, and we're like, "It's you."
Yeah, like our consultants that we're working with recommended not having more than 12, and even that was like kind of a struggle. We were like, that's really not very many people. When we did Elevate Devon, I think we had more like 20. So like they're really kind of leaning on us to kind of edit it down, but like we had to include the elder people, so it was like
right. Yeah. He and I've kind of worked out with him. I'm like, if you can't go, tag me in, like, you know, and I can go, but I'm like, I don't, they really don't want 2 of us. They're it's a tight group. But he still sent along the recording and the meeting looked great.
That's great to hear. Yeah. And we're glad that he was able to participate and be
Yeah.
part of the group. And for everyone else that's, not part of the steering committee, which is most everybody, just because we really had to, kind of scale down. But there will be ample opportunity to participate in the listening sessions and the survey and the general public meeting on the 22nd that we're working on. So if anything changes, we'll definitely let you know, and expect to start seeing stuff for this project in newsletters and on social and things like that. So we're sort of rebranding it to One Howard Street, because it's both
nice.
jurisdictions across the city limit. And we are incorporating a lot of the same existing branding and colors and stuff, which is, we want to kind of keep that consistent. The Evanston side is releasing on Friday their Evanston Thrives retail plan, which is a citywide plan, but it has sections for each of their retail corridors, including Howard Street. So we're looking forward to getting our hands on that when it's released, and seeing what came out of that plan and how we can build on it. From what I gather and understand from talking to my counterparts up there, I think they are kind of leaning towards standardizing and adopting kind of the existing brand like that we have for Howard Street, which is, potentially really, really nice and encouraging, because that was when we first did it. I was working at the city of Evanston when A5 was working with SSA 19 commission at that time. This would have been, gosh, 13 or 14 maybe. Julianne, I know it was before your time too, but they did include Evanston businesses in the community engagement process around brand development. But then when the final, the yellow and the logo was selected, the alderperson at the time was not a fan, and so they kind of opted to go their own way. But I think now they're coming back around, because it is like at this point it's been around long enough and is a strong enough brand that, I think they see the value in having it be consistent on both sides of the street. So more about that,
so
we'll
recognizable.
see. But yeah, so that'll be out on the 17th.
Cindy, can you, if there's a website or something for that, an announcement or a website, could you send that around to the commissioners?
Yeah, so it's just going to be on the City of Evanston's website. So they said to us, they were originally going to release it this past Friday, but then they emailed us an update on Monday saying that they were going to be postponing it. But yeah, once I get that, I'll put that in my list to share with you guys.
I'm sorry, Cindy, and you said it's coming out tomorrow or Friday?
Friday, St. Patrick's.
Okay, perfect.
3/17.
Lucky.
The days are all blurring together because I have like 3 major events this week.
Sure.
Yeah.
If it comes out on the 17th, no one will even have a chance to see it.
Yeah, I know. It's like, really, you're gonna release it on a Friday? Is that smart? But
on St. Patrick's Day, come on.
Well, I guess all the Green River stuff and all was this past weekend, so maybe they'll be.
It's
well,
Chicago,
I'm off this
Cindy.
Friday, so I will drink my coffee and luxuriously read the Howard Street Evanston retail report.
Yeah, I don't know how long it is. I don't think they said, but I know they have a section for each of their retail districts with.
Nice.
And yeah, so I mostly am concerned about the Howard Street one, but I'm mildly curious about some of the others. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, are they set up the same way we are, or is it just one SSA board, or are they divided like we are? Like there's the Howard Street one, there's the Morris.
Yeah. So downtown Evanston has its own group of commissioners. Main Dempster Mile has its own. And then since I left, Central Street formed an SSA, so they've got one. There's like some other smaller districts that don't have an SSA, but maybe have like a merchant association that's sort of informal. That's sort of how they're operating the Howard Streets, the Evanston side of Howard Street now, but they are moving towards formation of an SSA.
So they're just kind of lumped in with the others.
Yeah, I mean,
for the time.
But they have hired actually the same consultants we use. They're working with Tesca on SSA feasibility study and formation. But as you know, that procedure kind of takes like a year. So they're underway. So it would be like next year would be the earliest that they would like be starting their SSA, but I think they're doing the groundwork now, it sounds like. I attended one of their meetings. And it's, you know, it's interesting because they're using the same consultants. So they're familiar with the area already from having done ours in 2020.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I think, pretty much all the updates I have. It's only 9:24. Julianne, if you want to just sort of take a couple minutes and walk us through social media and website report, I can stop screen sharing if you want to put those slides up.
Cool. Cool. Yeah, so this shouldn't take too long, but this is just the digital report for the month of February. We'll run through social media, web analytics, Google Ads, and then the Loyola Ramblers partnership as well. So for social media, our page reach, pretty much roughly the same as the previous month of January, but it's up 56% in terms of Facebook reach. And then in addition to that, our ad impressions are up quite a bit this month as well. In terms of content, we have some of the highest performing posts right here. So that's a mix of different like events and whatnot, as well as some business photos. For example, the top performing post for the month of February was a Factory Theater post that we did kind of about, you know, Howard Street and the recent show. So that's great
Thank
to
you.
see. Yay. Cool. So web traffic, just a little under 2,000 visits, and then bounce rate and everything, roughly average here. And then this is just the year to date. So only 3 months in so far, but some nearly at 5K website visits and whatnot here. And then in terms of Google Ads, seeing nearly 1,000 clicks, 23K, 3,000 impressions here with an average click-through rate. And then this is the year to date overall clicks, impressions, and click-through rate as well. Loyola Ramblers, just on the upfront, we do not have numbers and metrics for them quite yet. I will have that in the next month's meeting. They're pulling those for us, but our logo, the Howard Street and Jarvis Square logo, was listed on their website. They included us in some travel, social media posts, in a video, as well as the live radio reads during the game. So that is linked here. I'm not going to play it right now because it'll sound very laggy via Zoom. But once you guys get your hands on this deck, just be sure to click this link to give it a listen. Cool. And then for our overall takeaways here, Facebook and Instagram organic reach was up, and so were the paid social media impressions. Top performing post, as we mentioned, was the Factory Theater branded post. And then web traffic was just a little bit decreased in February, which would likely be attributed to the links to the businesses that we included in social media posts rather than driving directly to the Howard Street page. And as always, please reach out to me, Julianne, or John Harris with any questions or comments.
Thanks, Julianne.
Thanks.
One thing that we might also want to touch on, because I know we talked about this at the last meeting, was the next round of photography. So it looks like we are targeting the 29th and 30th still. Is that still the dates?
Mhm.
And we are working with a local photographer. So his name's Daryl. He's a Rogers Parker. His company is Real World Photography. So we were pretty impressed with his portfolio. It's very much in line with, what we've done in the past. The rate is about the same as everyone else's because they all kind of, charge about the same for the 1 to 2 day shoot. So yeah, we're going to be reaching out to some of the businesses that were identified that, maybe hadn't gotten to participate in photography before, some of the newer ones. And then, folks that we know, have had like ownership changes and, that have new people that we want to include for upcoming ads and for getting light pole panners replaced in the spring. So moving forward there soon too. All right. Anything else? Any other questions? It's looks like it's 9:30.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing. I think that whatever you're doing, Julianne, with Loyola seems to be working because I'm noticing a lot more of the Loyola students coming to Howard Street. And I think it's great. They really are enjoying themselves. And I was thinking maybe Bukovic could, reach out to Loyola students for housing, for the
absolutely
area.
They unfortunately don't do housing fairs. We were just at Northwestern doing one, but we stay in contact with them. If you look at any of our marketing for the Loyola area apartments, we always reach out to the Loyola students directly and tag them in those things.
Oh, that's great.
Yep.
Yeah, we're also trying to really buck up our ticket sales because we do, in case anyone doesn't know, we have student discounts at the factory. So they can get in for a $15 ticket. And as my ensemble member Michael Jones said, $15, I got enough for a Happy Meal afterwards. So, so that's great advertising to those Loyola people.
Yeah,
Definitely. Awesome. Great to hear.
Great. All right. Anything else for the good of the order before we break here?
Quick question.
Yeah.
I know there's that thing we're supposed to fill out by May 1st.
Annual ethics forms. Yes.
Oh yeah, I saw the thing.
I was really going to hound people at the April meeting, but yes, that if there's no reason not to do it now. I think those emails are going out from the city because I have started hearing from other commissioners that they've done it and submitted it.
I didn't get mine. Oh my God.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Terrified. I have it on my calendar. Thank you, Renee.
I know, same here. And I haven't got mine, so I'm like, oh Jesus, I don't want to miss this.
Yeah, because we will clearly, the SSA will not pay our hundreds of dollars.
Yeah, I already had to pay my past due parking tickets to get on the commissioner. I don't have money to pay to not report myself.
But Tim, you said you got it?
I did get it. I'm happy.
What was the email that it came from? Yeah, or that.
Yeah, will you forward it or put it up?
I think Renee would like it too. Yeah.
Yeah.
We are panic stricken.
Before we go, there's one thing I would like to talk about, and it's about the rat situation on Howard Street. I mean, all of our garden areas are filled with rats, and I've been battling them because I don't want them to get into the buildings,
Yeah.
So I've been battling them with every kind of thing you could imagine. Nothing has worked. I think they're immune to all poison, and the city's no help. They're just not a help. So there's this lady that has this hunting dog, and she's been bringing it around, and he actually, kills the rats. He kills them and he scares them away. So she's been going around to all the garden areas on Howard Street. And that dog is actually working for us, And
that's amazing.
I love that story.
Good
Did
to
you
hear,
see
but
her?
also I didn't hear it because the city technically doesn't allow us to do rat stuff. We're supposed to go through streets and sand. So la la la, big headphones. But I am going to have that
Recording
conversation
stopped,
with
yeah.
our landscaping vendor as well, because I think, you know, if we, you know, make sure that they're aware of it and they are mindful of it as they're doing spring plantings, you know, bringing in, you know, better mulch, more density of plants, that might also sort of help take away the environment that's welcoming to rats. Because we, you know, we do recognize that it is a problem. I have shared it with, you know, Streets and Sand. I encourage folks to be putting that into 311, you know, whenever possible, especially if you've got any kind of pictures. We do, as many of you know, have a new Streets and Sand superintendent that I don't know if he's here or is coming. Dan Murphy, who's been the 49th Ward Streets and Sand super for decades, just retired.
I'm sad.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of sad to see him
him.
go. He's a neighborhood institution. But yeah, he has retired. Congrats to him. We're sad to see him go. But I think Maria had said that she was going to be, you know, announcing or introducing the new person soon. If it may have even been in the most recent newsletter because I haven't read it yet and they're so long. But yeah, there are, you know, there is still Streets and Sand folks out and about. They were cutting down trees in front of our office last week. But yeah, Dan Murphy is sailing off into the sunset of retirement. So new Streets and Sand person.
But to pick back up on the rats, there I was just looking into something, I think it was with CAC, where they do a basically like trap, fix, and release, and they will move feral cats into areas. Again, it was through like it wasn't like some. I don't know how the city feels about that. Are you doing cats? What are you doing, Tim?
Could we?
I don't know of any. So that's not entirely true. I don't know of any buildings or businesses directly on Howard Street that are doing feral cats, but I do know that Family Matters, which is a bit north, they do participate through, I think, Treehouse, where they have a feral cat colony assigned. I've also got one of my business owners on Devon does it as well. Because it has to be, I think, a specific property. I don't think an SSA district can do it.
Feral cat program?
I'll reach out and ask. I'm not sure what the logistics of that would look like, but
I think it's a great
program. I'm happy to be your provider of feral cats because we got them.
I think it's a great program, but you probably will get a little pushback from the birders.
That's also true.
But I love it. I mean, I love the birds, but the cats are a great idea. I do have one other question. The Beachview Liquors.
Yeah.
Their window's been broken for about 3 weeks now. And we called it into 311 and it's still broken.
Kyle said they had council this morning, so that's why he's not here. But I'll mention it to him because that building has just been, I think, a thorn in everybody's side. Because the building owner doesn't maintain it. And this is, I think, just further evidence of that.
I was in the Biddy Mulligans about 8 years ago because I knew someone that wanted to rent it. Now this was going back 8 years and they still had stuff in the coolers. There was so much mold and gross stuff in that place. It was horrifying. Like someone would need a hazmat to go in there, I think now.
Yikes.
Gross.
Yeah, I'll mention that to Kyle. And then if you've got a picture, if you could send that to us, that would be, you know, maybe helpful to, you know, keep on top of them with property maintenance. Cause that's one of the buildings that I think keeps people up at night because we know they're not maintaining it.
Right.
And then they don't seem to be serious about finding a new owner either, which is extra frustrating.
Nor does he maintain the building next to it that he rents. So.
Yeah, it's not a great situation. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Jesse, make Bukovic buy it.
I know. I'm
buy
like,
that building.
What building is this? We'll just swoop in.
It's right across the street from one you already have at Sheridan and Rogers.
I have looked out that window before and gone,
yeah, it's not great.
No, it's definitely a tear down.
That's a shame.
I know. Well, it's been sitting for what? I mean, Biddy Mulligan's at least 10 years, probably longer. And then
I think more
Beachview.
like 15.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, I've been here 10 years and it's been empty at least that whole time.
And those storefronts west
yeah.
of Beachview I've never seen anything in them, and I've been here for so years, quite a few years. I moved here when I was 6.
So last year.
Exactly.
All right. Anything else?
Just
All
a
right.
side note, Renee, it's been great seeing you at the factory. I'm sorry I didn't get to say hi in person. I would love to see the rest of your faces at Kelly Girls before the end of the run on April 1st. You all always have a comp at the factory. I hope you all know that. Done.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
that's very
Appreciate
nice,
that.
Tim. I think Sandra just
That's
bought tickets
lovely.
for 6 of us. We're very excited.
I like bought
Even
tickets
better.
for 6 of us, even better, but you have a comp. You're like,
And A5 will be out on Thursday, March 30th, to see one of the shows. So we're really looking
wonderful.
forward
Thank
to
you
it.
for coming on a Thursday. Those are new extension dates for us because of how things have kind of gone. So we added those Thursdays. So I really appreciate attendance on those Thursdays. Thank you.
Of course.
That's
of
great to
course.
hear. Yeah.
Hey, Tim, did you get your stickers?
It's the buttons. FedEx screwed up our buttons, but I've got all the stickers in the world. Yeah.
Oh. No, we sent out for our neighborhood partners, we sent out because not everybody knows, like, even though we have it on the website who the neighborhood partners are, but we sent like front window stickers and also like cash wrap stickers that if you want to like spread the word to people passing by or actually in your space. I don't know what my hand motions are. But I sent them out last week. So just they should go to the Factory Theater. You and Phil's name is on the envelope.
I'm glad you brought that up because Phil's out of town this week and I just realized I haven't been checking the mail like he instructed me to. So so I will do that.
Let me know if you didn't, and I can also, like, obviously I can drive them over to you and be like, here you go, buddy. Yeah.
Noted. Thank you. I can always come to you too.
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Hopefully,
a lot.
if you want to stop by and join us tomorrow night at the Broker Open House at 5 or the last couple of Maker Studio sessions, including closing reception on the 25th. But thanks and happy St. Patrick's Day week and have a good one.
Okay,
Look
thanks
at
a lot.
Irish.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.